Let's speak about project management. So projects, it's a little bit different than the process. As we said, process is more like systematic. So each and every stage, it's always happening at the same way each time. So sending quotation, for example, or maybe a new product development could be having the same systematic way. There is not a lot of changes. But with the projects, no, there will be some sort of changes. So it has a very specific scope, it has a very specific type of goals and maybe different resources. So if you are changing these type of information temporarily, so in this case, yes, you are into a project model, not a process model. Project, it's a little bit unique, and you know there is again a lot of confusion between the process and projects. And something to know that even in let's say some stage of the process, maybe you need to initiate a project, because in this type of stage, then you need to tweak a little bit of temporary information inside a project type, not only because of the input data, but also because of the output data. So if you need to have a capacity planning, if you need to have a resource planning. So in this case, yes, you need to go into project type of systems. So why it's important? Let's highlight that number. 70% of projects fail. And what we mean by fail here is not really fail, that we didn't make the project, but we make it, but not in time, maybe not in budget, maybe we required more resources. Maybe we are changing the goals while running into the project. So there are a lot of reasons behind the failure of the projects, but one of the main reasons is that 44% of the failure of the project just because of the project managers, they are not using a proper tool of project management system. And this is very important. Let's speak about Microsoft Excel or maybe any other tool. I can call it like a manual type of project management system. So in Excel, for example, it takes you a lot of time to manage your projects. Why? Because it's not flexible. So imagine that you have a list of phases, and within that phases you can assign or maybe create some sort of task, and within the projects you need to tweak it a little bit. You need to add more tasks. So in this case, it's going to be a little bit painful while altering the timeline. And the tracking, it's very important, because while creating only the projects into my computer, I will not be able to share it with other teams in the department. And I need to get more information from them to understand their progress in these tasks. And to be able to share that within a normal tool or maybe a manual tool, this is going to be a little bit painful. And simply, we cannot manage the projects with a large data inside of manual way of project management. And the collaboration, again, to connect all the resources together to be able to see what's the current progress inside of that projects, yeah, it's impossible sometimes in that type of manual project management system. And the reporting, it will take you a lot of time to create a report only for the project status, for example. And the manual way, it has no report for resource planning or capacity planning. So summarizing that, why it's important to have a project management system. So using a manual way, you will not be able to track project progress. And you know, I'm having a lot of example from our customers that yes, they are chasing actually all the resources inside the project. So to ask them, hey, did you finish that part? Did you push it to the production? Did you manage to plan it? Did you move it, the inventory? Have you ordered these items from the inventory? So all of these questions that you are chasing as a project planning, for example, or a planning manager. You need to chase all of the team members inside of your organization just to get information from them. And that's actually consuming time updating the projects. So you need to get this information and type it manually. And type it manually, of course, will create some error because it's manual type of things. And it will consume a lot of time at the end of the day to generate reports. And the most important thing that in most of organizations that they are not using a proper project management system, that they are accepting or rejecting projects according to the experience. So imagine the case. We are in the end of the year and we have been asking for a new project. And then, can we accept this project or not? Actually, we have no clue if we are using a manual project management system, if we really have the capacity to accept the project or not. So in some cases, you are accepting the projects where you are over capacity, so you will not be able to deliver in time, and then the project will fail. Or in other cases, you feel like, yes, you are over capacity while you still have the capacity to accept that project and gain more margin, especially at the end of the year. So while using a proper project management system, you will have an easier collaboration. So all the resources, stakeholders inside the project will be able to get insight about all of the information about the projects, which means that you have a better schedule, which means that you have a better communication with the client. So you can incorporate not only the stakeholder inside your organization, but also the stakeholder outside of your organization to bring them into the projects to see more about the information inside that projects. And it's very easy to delegate tasks. So if the task assigned to me and then I will be in vacation or maybe a holiday, then I can assign it to someone else. And he will be also receiving a notification according to that. And you can monitor and control the budget, which is very important. The cost of the projects each and every day, each and every time inside the project timeline, you can monitor all the cost-related issues. And within the project management system, you need to share documents. These documents could be SOLIDWORKS or maybe CAD files or maybe non-CAD files. And within that, you can standardize your project, which means that in each and every project, you can have a very specific type of phases, and within these phases, you can have a very specific type of tasks. Remote working, it's today actually the biggest benefit. So in the situation of today, yes, we have to manage a remote work. And while managing a remote work, you need to have a better understanding of your project timeline, the capacity, the resources, what they are doing, all the tasks related to the project. And all of these are the generic benefit for project management system. But what makes SOLIDWORKS Manage a little bit unique in project management system? Again, it's the connectivity between projects and the engineering data. So within your projects, for example, you can get a bill of material as a deliverable of the projects. Within your projects, you can attach CAD files as a SOLIDWORKS files. Within your projects, SOLIDWORKS Manage will be able to get the lower level of product data management, which is file management. So let's see that in action. So here, for example, in SOLIDWORKS Manage, we'll be able to see all the current projects in which, with all the stages inside related to each project. And if you double click one of these projects, you will be able to see the Gantt chart, which is a basic, let's say, type of tool that needed for project management. Not only Gantt chart, but also you can get per chart and network diagram. And the capacity planning is one of the tools that's available in SOLIDWORKS Manage that you can understand all of your resources capacity. which will let you know who's over capacity or who's under capacity that you can assign more projects to him. So a detailed information about the project. And if you are creating a new projects, or maybe you are altering a current one, you can add the bill of material. Here, I'm showing you only an example that within the SOLIDWORKS Manage, you can insert bill of material as a project deliverable inside project management, which is a unique type of capabilities for SOLIDWORKS Manage. So I can add these information as CAD files, as a CAD bill of material, and also I can add it as non-CAD bill of material.